Hello, fellow spooks. I am Rachel, and this is Rachel Unabridged, where I talk about books and horror. This is kind of a surprise extra video for this week because I just got back from the dentist and felt like, knocking this out. I kind of had plans to do this for a little while now, but frankly, after those monstrous Goodreads challenge videos that I did, I'm kind of ready to not be talking about, my 2022 reading stuff. But I thought that this one would be fun because this is going to give us a better idea of like what all I read than the Goodreads one did, because in my Goodreads videos, I explained that I had like a spurt in the middle of the year where I read a whole bunch of old issues of Batman comics, and it kind of like skewed my pages and my book total and all that kind of stuff. So this is going to give us a little bit more of an idea of what I actually read, and I just kind of thought that it would be a fun, quick thing that I could do. So let's just jump right into it. So this is not also an hour long. So, as you can see, unlike what my Goodreads review stated, I did read 91 books, and I read 23,681 pages throughout the year. My first book was The House by Bentley Little. If you check out part 1 of my 2022 review, then I talk about this book a little bit. And my last book was The Raven and Other Poems by Edgar Allan Poe. I talk about this one in my December wrap-up, so if you want to hear about that, go check that one out. And this this is the thing that like made me laugh the most. This is my mood map, and it's like, oh, lighter books push the line up and darker books push the line down, and you can see it's just like completely flat, and then in August it's like bloop. Just like, what did I read in August that made it like think that I read light books? That's what I want to know. So I went to dark places in 2022. This is my books and pages read per month. You can see like I usually read about, at least 5 books, sometimes more. If I'm really lucky, I will cross, the 10 book mark, but not that often. It looks like I only did it for 3 months. And then these are all my pages read. This right here is it, definitely. I'm pretty sure that I read it in like June and July, so let's see. I met my reading goal and exceeded it by 82%. I think that my goal was only 50 books, and I knew I was going to reach that, but I didn't want to push myself because I was a full-time student all of last year, and I was not sure if I was going to have time to read, and I almost didn't. Pretty much all I did is read for school and then read for pleasure and do like school-related assignments, and that was it. Didn't really get to play video games, didn't really get to sit and watch TV, so it's going to be so nice being able to actually do things again. The genres that I spent the most time with in 2022 were horror, of course, fantasy, thriller, classics, and short stories. Is short stories a genre? I feel like that's a format, not a genre, but okay. Whatever, Storygraph. It was my longest book. This actually is not the amount of pages that's in my edition. My edition has 1,090 or something like that, but I'm not really that concerned about Storygraph, having the correct amount of pages, I guess. The shortest book, it says, is Watcher in the Rain, because this was actually an audio drama and is listed on here with 1 page, and I haven't set it up to track audio things in minutes instead of pages yet. So if I had to take a guess, I would say that the shortest book that I read was probably In the Grove. That was a short story that was like 10 pages long. The average length of the books I read was 263 pages, and it says it took me around 20 days to finish each book, but that's because I had a couple that I had been reading for a long time, just kind of like chugging away at them, so I'm sure that kind of skewed the results. But the Wendigo took me 1 day. I think I read it to my husband in like 2 hours. And The Ode Less Traveled was the one that I took the longest with 329 days. But the reason for that is because I was actually like actively studying this book and like taking notes on the different poetic techniques and stuff, because I wanted to have a better understanding of poetry. So this was kind of like, I was taking my time with this book on purpose. So the authors that I spent the most time with in 2022 is Horikoshi Kohei, which is the author of My Hero Academia, which is kind of funny because I knocked out 4 issues of My Hero right at the end of December. So that's where it all came from, was like one little period of like 2 days at the end of December. Also, Seanan McGuire. This is definitely from reading the Wayward Children series. It is amazing, so read it if you haven't. Terry Brooks. This was 3 short stories of his that take place in the Shannara series, Shannara series as a whole. I think mostly the characters that are involved are from like the first trilogy, like the sort of Shannara trilogy, I think. But yeah. So those were my top authors. My average rating was 3.87, which I think is about what Goodreads said also. And these were my 5-star reads. We have Mexican Gothic, Cold Moon Over Babylon, Darkness on the Edge of Town, Winterset Hollow, Lock and Key. I think this looks like it's the 2nd volume. Between Two Fires, Songs of a Dead Dreamer and Grimscribe, Little Eve, Poems Bewitched and Haunted, Sour Candy, Nettle and Bone, Animal Farm, I'm Glad My Mom Died, My Hero Academia, volumes 1 through 4, and The Raven and Other Poems. If you want to hear what I thought of each of these books, check out my Goodreads review. I have part 1 and 2 up. And the ones that I read in December are available in my December wrap-up. So I kind of like go through and talk about what each of these books is about and what I liked and what I didn't like and things like that. This is just kind of a graph of the different ratings. As you can see, I don't really rate low because I try not to read books that I'm not gonna like. And sometimes like I do hate read, but it always starts out as like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like the book, and then I start it and I'm like, oh no. But then I'm like really hopeful as I go that it's gonna get better, so I will continue to read it and hate it as I do so, and be like, maybe the end will make it worth it, maybe I'll like it by the end. And I'm going to try to do better to not like hate read like that and just go ahead and DNF books, because my to read shelf on Goodreads is like almost 500 books long. So I don't have time to keep hate reading books. But as you can see, I gave like a lot of 4 stars, a lot of 5 stars, and a lot of 3 stars. I feel like I had a pretty good reading year, honestly. It started out rough with The House and like a couple of the other books I read that month, but I found some like really, really good ones that I gave 5 stars to. So the highest average rating per month for me was in November at 4.38 stars for everything that I read. January, turns out January wasn't my favorite month. I just got done talking about that. Average rating of 2.61. The most pages I read was in December with 2,892 pages. Let's see. My most shelved book, according to like how many other people shelved it on the website also, is The Midnight Library, shelved by 276,378 users. The least shelved was The Monkey Mind Workout for Uncertainty. This is a book to help with anxiety. I got an arc of it. So only 2 other people. Or I wonder if it includes me in the count. I don't know. But was the least shelved one. And then the highest rated was I'm Glad My Mom Died. And let's see. I explored the works of 57 new authors, including Stephen Graham Jones. 18 of the books that I read were part of a series, and I reread 8 books this year. I did not DNF anything, and this says I read 11 books from my own shelves, but I don't really keep up with the books that I own and everything on the website. So I'm not 100% if this is accurate or not. There might have been some that I bought and then I didn't bother to like tell Storygraph or Goodreads that I bought it. I keep like all of my owned books and everything on a separate app. It's just kind of like a spreadsheet sort of situation. And this is 2022 at a glance. We're not gonna like dwell on this because I already went through all of this in my Goodreads video. But oh well, that's the end. So that is everything that Storygraph has to tell me about my reading habits in 2022. I'm still like cracked up about this line. It's just like dead all the way at the bottom until August. And oh wait, it looks like it turns up a little bit in December. I know what I read in August that gave it the blip. I bet that it was House in the Cerulean Sea or House on the Cerulean Sea. You know what I'm talking about, right? It was very popular for a while there. So I bet that that's the one that gave me like the littlest lump. So yeah, if that doesn't tell you something about my reading habits. Anyway, yeah, that is my Storygraph stats page for 2022. Let me know in the comments, do you use Storygraph, and what did your little mood map look like at the end of the year? Are you more of a like light, fluffy kind of book reader, or do you like the really dark reads? Let me know in the comments and stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again really soon. Bye!